What's poppin', yo? We got a XXL freshman list for this year that I actually heard about and paid attention to. Last year, it feels like one of the most came and went years. I would say if we were going to put a tombstone on it, it would have been 2023, and then 2024, the body would have already been 6 feet under. But this year, they've done an interesting job of putting together a cast that I'm in favor of for several reasons. So I'm going to go through one by one, give how much I know about the artist, my familiarity with them, with their music, or perhaps just with their names. Some I have not heard of whatsoever. So off rip, we got Jello, who we could say is a bit of the breakout of this year. I might swerve in that corner. You know, he was already popping as an artist or as a basketball player and as a personality. We already knew him from his family. And we even knew him playing college ball and high school ball. So Jello here, he followed up his first song with 2 other songs. And a bunch of people were saying, well, you know, Jello's already fell off. You can't really expect somebody to continue the same level of momentum of them blowing up from the novelty of them having new music and carrying that over for each subsequent release. The last person that did that was who? Fetty Wap. And at the time, Fetty Wap, this was 2017, the market hadn't matured yet, and it hadn't saturated in the way that it did. And I don't mean saturated as in there's a lot of bad artists. I mean saturated in the sense that people are competing for attention. A lot more rappers are competing for attention. So your song's not going to be the only thing going on, or your career. Like, you're competing with a lot of other people. So he dropped a bunch of songs. If he had only kept Tweaker up, he dropped that song Law and Order. He dropped Can You Please with Glorilla. He even dropped the Tweaker remix with Lil Wayne. I don't know why he had Lil Wayne on it specifically. I think he even dropped a new song called Boot It Up. And this is all with Def Jam and UMG. And he's gearing up to release his project titled League of My Own. I like the title of the project. That's supposed to drop sometime in July. It's a 13-track project. His first drop. So I think Jello's good. Jello sounds very different from a lot of what's going on right now. And I think he was a good pick. And I'm glad that he chose to take the class, because a lot of people opt out and they deny it. I think a lot of that happened last year. But Jello taking it, I think it's an example of him saying, like, yo, I grew up on this, and now I get to be a part of this. It's kind of like stamping me as a real deal rapper. Not that he wasn't, but anyway. Next is Ian. Ian is somebody that I think they got this year because Yeet rejected it the years prior. He had gotten it years ago. It would have been unsurprising if he was there last year. I'm a little bit surprised. He seems more like a sophomore than a freshman to me. I would say Ian's freshman year was around 2023. So maybe they just didn't put him in 2024. Like when that Magic Johnson song went crazy, that's where I would say was Ian's year. And that was 2024 actually. So yeah, he had a crazy run last year. He's still continuing to do his thing. He hasn't dropped a project yet this year, but the guy's consistent. He's good. He makes good music. I think he's overhated. I don't think he's as hated right now as he was initially, but I wouldn't say he sounds different from the generation that he grew up in terms of underground rap, because that's where he came up. But he does sound different from everybody else that's on this list. And Ian is somebody that handled the situation with Tyler, the Creator, calling him out and disrespecting his art, his intentions, just trying to stereotype the guy. He handled that with class, with grace. We've never heard anything bad about him. The guy just minds his business, makes his music, and keeps it pushing. Yeah, like he got on because of, I wouldn't necessarily say like a total gimmick, but like he used a little bit of a gimmick to get on, and it worked. But since then, he's carried it off, or he's carried it with mostly just music. Oh, we got to give him credit for that. Laser Dim 700. This guy clearly makes the worst music on here, and I haven't heard some of the other people's music, but I'm still willing to make that judgment call. Granted, I do think he's a great addition to this list, because he's one of the people that blew up off of Plaqueboy Max, and he's a personality, to say the very least. He's got a fan base, so it's not a meme that they put him on here, although he is a bit of a meme in a different way. He's an Atlanta rapper. He sounds very different from many other people. He's continuously been running up his numbers. He hasn't dropped a project yet in 2025, but this guy has dropped many, many projects over the past 5+ years, and I like the guy. Not the music, absolutely not. I think the music sucks, but the personality, the willingness to do things and interact with streamers like Max and their communities, and shout out their communities in a way that most rappers would feel like is far too gimmicky and would hold them back. Laserdisc is willing to do that. And Laserdisc has been making music. He's like an example of somebody where you can't say, yo, this guy just got on. The guy's been making music for 4+ years and releasing it consistently. And it just so happened that he took off last year. So this is a perfect timing for these three as well. Then we've got Ray Vaughn, who's a TDE signee. Ray Vaughn has, let's keep it a buck, dog. Ray Vaughn was bubbling, and I mean bubbling. Like we're not talking boiling. We're talking the bubbles just start to pop or just starting to build up when you're boiling water. And then he got a lob he didn't get a lob from Joey. Joey disses Kendrick Lamar, and then Ray Vaughn hops on it, takes initiative in this, and starts going back and forth with Joey, and this got him a lot of recognition. The guy drops bars. The guy makes good music. He is a rapper's rapper. Is he as good as Joey? Absolutely not. And he dropped his own album this year as well. So this guy's of the TDE sound. Like, you guys know what TDE sounds like. And that's not to say that their sound is a monolith, but you can fit him in there. So this guy, Ray Vaughn, is so far and away from Laserdisc, not just location-wise, because one is Atlanta, one is LA, but in sound as well. So these 4 rappers that we've got all have a huge diversity of sound in their music. So Ray Vaughn, I think, was, I wouldn't say a no-brainer, but I like that he's here. Nino Paid. This is one of my favorite rappers to come out this year. A friend of mine had actually shown him to me, and once I heard it, I couldn't unhear it. I first heard him on it was a clip, I believe, for Lyrical Lemonade's freestyle series, and I pause on this, but it was enchanting to listen to that song. And then I checked out some of his other stuff. He had a recent song with Polo G. I just listened to that yesterday. I like Nino Paid's part. I think Polo G gave him 8 bars? Or did he give him a 16? It didn't sound like Polo G did too much on that song. I feel like Polo G could have delivered a better verse. It wasn't bad musically, but I know Polo G's got better bars than what he laid down on that song. With Nino Paid, though, one thing that I couldn't unhear is the Ugly God flow. If you guys go listen to Ugly God, Nino Paid has that identical flow. And it's kind of cool to see that it still works in the modern day and nobody else has really done it. But Nino Paid's built himself up around it. I don't really know much else about Nino Paid. I only know him through the music, which is a good thing. I think, wasn't he from DMV area? I'm not sure. I thought he was initially from Detroit, but I was told he was from Maryland, which, another region. We've got multiple regions here already. We've got Atlanta and Georgia, including Ian. We've got Jello, Chino Hills, California. We've got Ray Vaughn, LA. We've got Nino Paid, in this case, DMV. So we've got a diversity of locations as well. Are we going to get Florida? Yes, we are going to get Florida. So Nino Paid is somebody that I don't really know much about. I don't really know much about how he blew up, but I have heard some songs, and I know he's making waves because, I heard about him. The next guy I didn't really hear about, and that is Shimmy. I don't think I've ever even heard this name. Probably going to get some comments from fans of his that was like, yo, how'd you not hear about this guy? And he is a Florida artist. I think he's signed to Future. I think this is one of those guys where, no disrespect to him, it feels like favors were done. Like, they're like, okay, we need a street-type rapper to put on here. And if he is signed to Future, then it's no surprise that they've invested so much money into him and they're using Future's connections to get him on here. Or he could be popping. He could be one of those, I'm late on a lot of these street rappers that just be buzzing and have their own motion, but don't catch on until later. Like Moneybagg Yo, I remember when he was popping, when he was first dating Megan Thee Stallion, I was like, man, what the hell? Like, people, who's a Moneybagg Yo? But he was actually like popping at the time, and then he just scaled everything up and really, really blew up after that situation. So that could be what Shimmy is. I just can't say I know much about him nor his music, but I will be checking it out for sure. But I mean, if he brings that street rap element to it, that's something that the majority of these other guys don't don't really have. And when I mean street rap element, I don't mean the content of the music or the individual necessarily. It's that specific sound and production choice, which Nino Paid doesn't really lean into either because of how different his flow is from the majority of rappers on this list and in general. Then we've got Eam Triplin. Eam Triplin I've been listening to for years at this point. I remember when he had that first viral post on X or Twitter at the time where he was performing for like 9 people or something like that, and then he blew up off of that. So that post blew up. And it's not to say that some people say, oh, he blew up off that. And that's really not how it works. A tweet blowing up does not convert to music listeners necessarily. And he has consistently dropped since then, building up quite a strong listener base. He's been doing performances ever since then. I think he knows how to toe the line very, very well between promoting yourself in a funny way, an aggressive way, but without making it seem like without making it seem gimmicky or too try hard. And he never released a project. He used to just release single after single for years. I think it was for at least, I think I found out about the guy in 2022, 2021, but this guy's been in it since 2019. So 6+ years. He finally dropped an album this year that I only found out about through seeing him on this freshman list, and that was several months ago. And he was independent for quite a while too. I think that's why he hadn't dropped an album. And now recently he signed to RCA Records, and he dropped his Melody of a Memory, which I need to check out that project. He's got Ty Dolla $ign on there, say less. So I will be checking out Eam Triplin. I do think he's another person that sounds very different from the rest of these guys. Talented artist. You can see the Tyler the Creator influence on him. And I don't mean not a very strong influence, but there's a hint of that. You could tell he listened to him while he was younger. So I think Eam Triplin was a solid pick. I wouldn't say he was a no-brainer pick because he's a little bit out of the way in terms of he's doing his own thing. He's not really clicked up with anybody. He was independent for a long period of time, and he doesn't have the, I would say, fan base that a Laserdisc has, or even a Jello, or had a moment like a Jello had, or a fan base like Ian, or a moment and a fan base like Ray Vaughn. So he seems more like a taste maker type of pick, or RCA phoned it in and said, hey, this guy should be on here. But I think he belongs on here nevertheless. Then we've got Baby Chief Do It. This, I would have said that like Low Shimmy is a name that I may have seen once before. Baby Chief Do It, I have no idea. I have never heard this name. I have never seen this guy rap. Oh, this guy's a kid. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes right now that I took before this. This kid's 17 years old, and he's signed to APG. This seems more like a little bit of a label move. He might have a song that's popping right now. If I were to look it up. Oh, the guy's got a couple of songs. Yeah, the guy's got a couple of songs. He's moving. I don't know anything about this guy's music, to be fair. He has released a project this year. It seems like the numbers are quite solid for a guy that just got into the game. I don't know if he's a street rapper, to be fair. Just from a cursory look at him, it seems like he would get on this list, but I really don't know too much other than that, to be fair. So I can't really say, I wouldn't say nay on this guy, but this is the first name where I would say I have never even seen or heard this name in my life. And it could be because of the age. Now we got 1900 Rugrat. I've talked about this guy on a video on the main channel on gimmick rappers. I'll try to link that down below. But I like this guy. I like how he blew up. He got on via TikTok, really thugging it, doing remixes. And then he had that one song blow up while he was doing it on the Radar freestyle. And then he leaned into that, and he kept dropping ever since. One of his frequent collaborators, and he collabed with the right people too. This guy's got some bars. He collabed with Kodak. This guy's a South Florida guy. He also collabed with, what's his name? The Jewish rapper BLP Kosher, who I actually enjoy his music as well. Haven't listened to him in a little bit, but when he was first on, like the first 2 years, I was listening to BLP Kosher quite frequently. 1900 Rugrats, similar to that. His One Take Freestyle was the one that blew up. I haven't listened to the album that he dropped this year, which was Porch to the Pent. I don't know if I would listen to a 1900 Rugrat project, to be fair. Like, if we're looking at all of these guys on here that we've covered thus far, in level of priority for albums that I would check out, right now, Eam Triplin is number 1. And then I would say it's Ian, Jello, Laserdisc, I'm not listening to a mixtape of this. Not sorry. Ray Vaughn, actually Nino Paid, then Ray Vaughn. And then I would say Shimmy, because I just need to check out that guy's music in general. Well, I'll check out singles by him, not album. And then it would be 1900 Rugrat. Just because I've heard him mostly from singles. I don't know what he would deliver for me in an album that I'm not getting via the singles. But the guy's a solid rapper, makes good music, and he got on organically, really like off the muscle, no real push. And since then, he's been doing it dolo. I think he's signed now for this recent project, but he was independent for quite a while as well. And he was doing these interesting collaborations, like for example with Skrilla. And I don't think he's trying too hard either. YTB Fat. Now this was a pick that I wouldn't say I was surprised by. This is a rapper I have seen before. I have seen YTB Fat. I haven't really listened to him much. He is 100% one of these street rappers. I think he's from Memphis. I've heard about him a lot. Have I listened to him? Nah, to be fair. I really haven't listened to him. I haven't tapped in yet. And I think that's because like certain rappers, like these street rappers, like he's got a song with Moneybagg Yo. Certain rappers like this guy, they don't really hit my radar until they catch one. Or someone that I'm cool with is like, yo, you gotta check this guy out. And nobody's done that with YTB Fat yet. Yeah, that's subject to change. But, well, that is subject to change right here. But this guy is clearly from a different ilk than the majority of these other guys. And it seems like he's one of these down south rappers that's doing the club circuit. Like a Moneybagg Yo before he blew up. Or damn, I can't believe I was gonna say that name. Who was that guy that was signed to, who's like, you little itty bitty bit? Damn, I'm forgetting that guy's name. You guys know who I'm talking about. The guy that supposedly sent 100 shots at Young Dolph and he was beefing with him for a very long time. That guy. Now, I wouldn't say YTB Fat is a gimmick like that guy was, but I will be checking out a couple of songs by YTB Fat after this. Samra Sin, they got a girl on here. I don't know too much about this lady. At the moment, she seems like the least, the word shouldn't be deserving, but the lowest numbers of anybody that has been put on this list. I think there are other females that could have been put on here. Like, for example, there's this one Belgian kind of SoundCloud rappery girl who made a couple of waves. I wouldn't say she necessarily, was it Dina? I think it's Dina. Yeah, this girl, Dina Ayada. Now, this girl is signed too, but I think she would have been an interesting pick because she's a foreigner. She's a Belgian artist. She's kind of like a sing-songy type of artist. She's SoundCloud rap, to be fair. And she's quite creative. She's a decent artist. She's signed to Listen to the Kids, and she had a song with DDG as well a couple of months ago. She's had a couple of songs do well. It seems like they're investing a ton into her. However, her numbers don't even look close to this girl. What's her name? Samra Sin. Samra Sin's got like 1 million monthly listeners. Dina Ayada's got like a couple 100,000. So I could see why. Some people would say like, yo, why is Dave Blunt's not on here? That's also a good question. I think maybe because Dave Blunt's just blew up a little bit too late into the year. Dave Blunt's was also working with Ye, so perhaps they wanted to avoid the controversy surrounding that. Dave Blunt's potentially turned it down as well. I don't know. I think Dave Blunt's would have shown up and taken the opportunity for the type of promotion that he would get, because I think Dave Blunt's doing something funny or crazy on his freestyle or cypher would just blow everything up, including the fact that it was XXL, which has brand recognition, despite the fact that even last year we would say like, yeah, people weren't really checking it out like that. So for Samra Sin, I'm gonna check her out because I am intrigued. She is the only girl on here, and I have never heard of her before. I have never heard this name. And that leaves the last one, the 10th pick winner, which is EBK Jabo. This guy's lit. This guy's popping. I'm surprised that this guy's not behind bars. Is he behind bars right now? He might have been behind bars when they recorded or when they filmed this, took a photo of it, because he's not there. But yeah, this guy is demonic rapper. I mean, the guy's got project. The guy's project is called The Reaper. Supposedly, he's got a ton of bodies. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. I can't even confirm the rumor. I just know that he's known as being that type of rapper. And that's just music that I'm not really too fond of as of late. But I do like that he's from Stockton, California. Like, Stockton is an area that is notoriously not a great area. Like, the last thing we remember coming out of Stockton is not just I think the Sacramento Kings play there, don't they? No. They changed it to the Stockton Kings. I'm tripping. Yes, they're affiliated with the Sacramento Kings, and they're a G League team. Hey, either way, Stockton is known for what? The Diaz brothers. We don't really hear of many rappers making it off of or out of Stockton, California. And I don't know why I had thought EBK Jabo was from New York initially, but EBK Jabo got a couple of good looks. I think it's because EBK, like there's like Shy EBK and a couple of these other EBK guys in New York. But this guy's supposed to be opening up for NBA Youngboy on his Make America Slime Again tour. So he's been getting good looks. This guy's popping. Like right now, he is really lit. If he can avoid jail, he's just going to continue to go up because people mess with the demonic stuff. They mess with the fact that they believe that he is or has done what he's rapped about. I mean, the guy's in and out of jail consistently. I haven't really checked out his music. I will give it a shot, like a couple of songs, even though it's not my taste. Now, it's not that it's not my taste. It's going to take a lot for me to listen to some guy whose only appeal is street rap. If he was from Chicago, I'd be less inclined to listen, even New York. But the fact that he's from Stockton makes me want to check him out a little bit more. So for these 10 picks, like just look at the diversity, man. I really, really love the choices that they put on here. I just hope that they can gel well together for a cypher. But other than that, I think there's a lot of promise here, man. I enjoy this list thoroughly. There are a couple of people that I don't know, but I'm not willing to dismiss them. I'm willing to look more into them as opposed to previous years where I would dismiss them. And the reason why I'm willing to look more into them is because all of these other picks that I do know of, they just make perfect sense. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm see y'all on the next one.